Hey everyone, my name's Joe Previtt. I'm a good friend of Senor Cordova, and he asked me to share a story with you, a story about how Spanish has affected me, just so that you have someone who's a couple years ahead of you, so you can get a good understanding of why it's important to study Spanish and how it might affect you in ways you might not imagine. So let's get into it. So the story that I want to tell today is about how learning Spanish opens doors. So like I said, I'm not too much older than you. I went to Shadow Mountain and I graduated back in 2012. And this is where I learned Spanish. I took it all the way from freshman year to senior year in high school. And when I was taking Spanish, my Spanish teacher told me about this new cool site called Verbling. And back then, Verbling was this website you went to, similar to Chat Roulette, if you've heard of that, where you would go on, you would put, oh, I'm a native speaker of English, and I'm studying Spanish. And then what they would do is connect you with someone of the opposite, someone who was a native Spanish speaker wanting to learn English. And you would chat for about 30 minutes, 15 minutes in English, 15 minutes in Spanish. And so I thought that was super cool. You know, I was hooked. I went home, I was meeting people from Chile, Peru, Colombia, and my Spanish was getting a lot better. And so I did something kind of unusual. I sent an email to Verbling and I basically said, hey, I'm a high school student. Here are my skills. I'd love to work for you. And it's funny because I sent that back. You can see the date here in November of 2011. And that one email completely changed the trajectory of my life. And, you know, it's part of the reason that I'm here where I am today. So, you know, a couple months later, the co-founders got back to me and I ended up working for them part-time. And as part of that, I actually sent an email to all high school teachers that taught Spanish in Arizona, and that led to a relationship with Senor Cordova, which is why I'm here today. So those are kind of the first two doors in my life that opened up thanks to Spanish. So getting paid to video chat in Spanish, right, working for Verbling, and then the friendship with Senor Cordova. So fast forward, studying Spanish, I basically fell in love. And I decided to go down to Tucson to the University of Arizona, where I would study Spanish. And as part of that, one of the projects that I did was interviewing a famous YouTuber whose name is Dustin Luke. He's an American and he speaks Spanish with an Argentinian accent, and he makes a bunch of content now. And so if you're not familiar, he's a pretty famous YouTuber. He's got close to 700,000 subscribers, almost 400,000 on Instagram. And so I did this interview with him as part of one of those projects in college because I was studying Spanish. And in addition to that, I had an opportunity to spend a semester abroad in Argentina, where I was continuing to practice my Spanish. Also a life-changing moment. So again, there's three doors that opened as well. So studying Spanish in college, 6 months in Argentina studying abroad, and then meeting a famous YouTuber, Dustin Luke. And from there, more opportunities came my way. So I had the opportunity to study Portuguese because at U of A, they offer a class called Portuguese for Spanish speakers. So now I'm leveraging the Spanish that I learned in high school and in college to teach myself another language. And similar to that, later, I took classes in Italian. So same thing, the Spanish that you're learning now could help you learn another language, another Romance language, for instance, like Portuguese or Italian. So again, two more doors that are opening up thanks to these languages, right? Learning Portuguese, learning Italian. And so with Italian, later I had the opportunity in life to travel to Italy. And my background, my ancestors immigrated to the US from Italy, my great-grandparents. And so a couple of my family members still had connections or contacts in Italy. And so one of the really cool things was when I was in Italy, I had an address and I had a name from, my uncle. He was like, hey, I've lost touch with them, but here's the last known address that I have. Here's their name. If you want, you could go and knock on the door and see if you can meet them. And so I did that. And it was, the most incredible experience, because here I'm telling these people, hey, we're family through so-and-so and so. And they ended up letting me in their house, cooking lunch for me. And we had all of these conversations, and it was only possible because I spoke Italian. They didn't speak any English. And, it's just such a magical experience being able to talk to someone in their native language, right? As I'm sure a lot of you are doing with your Spanish. And so later, all of this language learning experience, right? Learning Spanish, learning Italian, learning Portuguese, led me to the field that I'm in now, which is the tech industry, because I figured, okay, if I can learn foreign languages, what if I could learn programming languages? And so that's when I got into coding. And I learned how to code. And so having all of this knowledge of learning languages translated really well over to learning programming. And, whether you know or not, there's a lot of jobs right now for programmers. And so if that's something that you're interested in, having Spanish and having basically the skills to recognize patterns and learn a language can help you with a potential career. And so now in the day-to-day, I'm writing code and I'm building apps and building websites. And it's really cool. It's something that I'm super passionate about. And, it's changed the way that I think. And even from being in the tech industry, I've had really cool opportunities. Like last year, I had an opportunity to video chat with Bill Nye, the science guy, who was super popular when I was growing up, learning science, for instance. So again, 3 more doors that opened up thanks to learning Spanish, right? Meeting my Italian ancestors, learning how to code, and meeting Bill Nye. So really the whole point of this story is that when you learn Spanish, when you learn a language, it's going to open up tons of possibilities that you might not be able to see now in high school, but might affect you later in your adult life. And so hopefully that resonates with you. Thanks so much for letting me share this story with you. And just remember the hardest part is showing up to class, showing up to do your homework, showing up to those opportunities where you know that someone needs someone who speaks Spanish. And so you come up and you say, hey, I speak Spanish, and you take advantage of that opportunity. So thanks so much. Again, my name is Joe Previtt. Feel free to send me a message on Twitter. I'm at JSJoeIO, or you can send me an email, which is jjprevitt@gmail.com. I'd love to see how I can help you. Thanks again. Keep studying Spanish, and nos vemos pronto en el futuro. Thanks.